Cops were called to break up a fight outside of a bar between 4 females and their boyfriends. When they realize they're being arrested, they completely freak out and try to act like they didn't do anything wrong.
Oh, hold on, please! Oh. Relax, please. Easy. Relax, you're not going nowhere. You're not going nowhere. Get off, she's not hurt. Get off, get off. Under arrest, that's it. Don't go anywhere, turn around.
Are you gonna arrest her?
Relax. Stay facing the wall, I'm dealing with you right now. Stop being arrested. No, that's it, back up. I'm not going to back up. No.
The officers attempt to place the females who were fighting in handcuffs while keeping the crowd at a manageable distance.
Get my man! Get my man!
Guys, back up. Guys, back up. Back up. Guys, back up. 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 Back up.
Back up!
Back up. Back up.
Back up! Back up! Alright, but you gotta back up!
Back up. Back up. Back up.
Everybody, back up!
If you don't back up, you don't get shot. Back up. Back up, guys. Back up. Back up. Back up. Back up. Back up, sorry. Back up, you're gonna get arrested. Back up. Back up. Back up, or you're gonna get sprayed. Back up.
Where's my bag? Where's my bag?
You better relax. You better relax.
Give me my bag, bro.
Look the other way. Look the other way.
Give me my bag. Bro, what are you gonna do, bro? Give me my bag.
Get back. Get back. Get back. Get back. Get back. Both get back. No. Good. My rights is good. My rights is good. My rights is good. Keep it up on the
You started. Shut up. You was like that aggressive. I don't care.
Get in the cars. Let's go. Get in the car. Let's go.
My shoes intact. My shoes.
Okay, don't worry about it.
The deputies prepare to place the suspects in their vehicles in order to transport them to the police station for booking.
All right. Stop pulling away. Stop pulling. Stop, man, stop pulling. Start, get back. My cousin good? Okay, that's my family. Right, sorry, just get back. Relax, you gotta get back. Get back, man. Get back. Get back. Come on.
I don't know what happened. Just relax with me.
My phone's missing.
I'll grab it. I'll find it.
It's gone.
With her?
Hold on. You have any property on you?
No, I don't think so. Can you check my pockets if I have it?
Okay. You have a phone or a wallet or anything?
No, I think somebody else has it.
Okay, hold on. Turn around. Okay. Go ahead. Get in.
Okay.
There's somebody in both cars.
Can you please tighten it? Bro, all my life, I will not do anything. Can you please loosen these? I have mad anxiety.
All right, so again,
Please.
just try and take a breath.
Please.
Just give me a minute. I can't do it right now.
Please.
There's about 90 people here.
I don't give a
I understand. Just walk over here with me. Yo, Teddy, where's your car? Where's your car?
Bro, can you loosen these?
Yeah, we're going to our headquarters. Just give us 2 seconds.
So just walk her off. Just walk her off.
You just walk her over?
Now, man.
Yo, can you grab my gloves that were on the ground?
Where are they?
They were on the ground right by 20.
Please just loosen them.
Are you gonna walk her over? What are you gonna do?
I'm Gucci, please.
Okay, look, we'll walk this
No,
door.
please. Just out my face.
Relax!
Get them off!
I told you once we go inside, relax. Give us 2 seconds.
The suspects are taken to the station one by one so they can be booked individually. The first suspect arrives and continues to give police a hard time.
Okay, I will not violate you. Please just pick it up. I will not say nothing. Please just pick it up. I will not fight you. I won't fight you. Please take them off.
All
Can you
right,
please take them off? I
there's
promise.
4 more people coming in, so.
Teddy, can you please take them off, bro? Please, please.
Teddy, you want to just hang out with her over here for a second? I'll
Take them
transport.
off, I promise.
Yeah, just give me a minute, man. What's going on?
I'm so sorry.
Hold on, man. I got you. Come on.
That's great.
All right, it's all right. It's all right. Stay one second. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. Watch your head. What's he said? Just try to relax, man. All right? Were they fighting each other?
Yes, sir.
Just hang it over here.
Just
Over here.
Can you get my bag?
Yes.
Can you get
stop?
it
I
now?
told you I'm going to work with you. Give me 2 seconds.
Just come this way. Is somebody in there? They got an arrest in there, right?
Just keep it in there. Keep it right there.
All right, come on.
So they don't.
You okay, man? Just here. Try to just relax, all right? All right. You want to have a seat? You want to have a seat?
No, don't touch me.
Well, you're under arrest, so I have
Don't
to.
touch me. Shut up.
No, that's not how it works.
Shut up.
That's not how it
Shut
works.
up. You asked me for a seat. Shut up.
You could sit down.
I don't want to sit, so I'm going to sit by the seat, okay? That's it.
Okay.
Shh.
Listen, you can make this easy or difficult.
I don't know why you're making it difficult.
No,
He
you're
already
making it
offered me the seat, so I'm going to stand by the seat, okay?
Perfect.
So stop talking.
That's all we need.
The suspect continues to give officers a difficult time out of spite. There's clearly a reason why she's in cuffs instead of being free right now.
So what's going to happen is I'm going to take it off. You're going to throw your hand on the wall. Do not turn around. Do not throw your
Can you
arms
get
up.
my bag? Because that's
Yes.
a that I don't.
Yo, can you just grab the black bag that's on the table right there?
We had to censor this part of the footage due to her wardrobe repeatedly malfunctioning in this room.
Stand by, stand by, stand by. Everybody stand by. Hold on. Can somebody give me a selfie? Selfie?
By the way, someone stole my phone.
All right, we'll do a report for that as well.
Okay, you know.
Yeah, I'm just waiting
I'm
for my
not
partner.
even. I'm not even like trying to fight with you.
I get it.
I just have
Anxiety,
anxiety.
I know.
Big?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
I have super big anxiety.
I get you.
I just
try
want
and
to
take a
off.
breath. We're gonna get you. We're gonna put you in a cell by
I know
yourself
I
just so you
get
can
it,
relax.
but I just want to off. Please, I will not. I will not hurt you.
We're just waiting for somebody to bring the cell key in because, as per our policy, we're not allowed to have anybody in here with their weapons. So that's why they're putting them away. And then we're gonna clear the cell and then throw you in there. Then you can breathe. You can wander around. You can go to the bathroom if you need to.
I'm
Again,
mad.
I don't want to yell.
Can you check if my phone is in that second box?
This one?
Yeah. You feel it?
Yeah, there is something in there. So it might be. It might be.
Okay.
Do you have any
Can
females?
you
in
pull
there?
it out or no?
You gotta keep facing the wall, okay?
All right, I'm gonna do a quick pat down of you. I'm gonna get your phone out as well.
Can you just check, please?
Just
Quick,
give me 2
quick,
seconds. I have to just give me 2 seconds. I have to put my gloves on. Again, I try to do everything very respectfully since you're a female.
It's okay.
One more out here.
Hold on.
Stand by! Alright.
Can you just check with my phone? Because everybody's
I believe it is. Just give me 2 seconds.
Can you check it first? That's my phone.
So now, just like
Is it pink?
do you have 2 pockets? Yeah.
Is it few?
This one?
Yeah, okay. Can I see the front screen, please? Okay, it's on my phone.
You guys good?
Just turn around. I'm gonna finish checking your pockets.
Am I gonna get that?
Your phone? Yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna take your phone. It's just right now, obviously, while you're in cuffs, we can't let you have your phone.
That's mine.
That's your phone. Here. I'm just gonna check the other pocket. I'm gonna take that from your hand.
Can I take it?
No, everything's on camera right now, so I don't want to get in trouble for that. Do you have any other pockets other than that?
Oh, no. I don't have nothing.
Your chains, is it easy to come off, or are they like kind of stuck?
Oh, they're like little latches.
you
The
mind if I try
cross
and take
is
it off?
real though, so I worry about that. The fourth one.
Again, everything's on camera right now. So
I just need that bag.
no, of course, no, everything that I take off you, you're getting back. Don't worry about that. It just so our policy is anything that you can, not saying you want to or you're going to, anything that can harm yourself, we have to
I
take.
understand.
Sorry, I don't want to grab your hair.
The final suspect in the blue shirt arrives in a much more distressed state than the others. According to their claims, she was the one who started the initial fight at the club.
I want to know who's fighting who. Okay, I got an idea. Whoever that is, go on one cell. This lady go on another cell. And these two that are friends go on the bench.
Fine, let's bring her right now.
Guys, bring her to a bench. Bring her to a cell.
Put her in the output test room. Hold her right there. Bring this one in. No, I know, but bring him in the hallway. Hold her in the hallway until we get.
Everybody stop.
Please.
Everybody stop.
What happened?
Just come over here.
Can I have a water,
Keep
please?
them together here. Bring her in.
Kayla, calm down.
Alright, ma'am, what is your name?
I think I just tightened my cuffs. It hurts really bad.
Alright.
What is your name?
Nicole. Kayla, I'm fine.
Please shut up, please. Please shut up.
Is my necklace still on, sir? My earrings? Sorry, I know I keep asking. You're okay. It's fine, calm down. I didn't do anything wrong.
I know, but please shut up. I've
I'm
never
not-
been in this situation.
I've never been either. I've never even gotten a parking ticket. Okay?
Please shut up, please.
It's okay. Calm down.
Yeah,
Kayla. Kayla, look at me. Kayla, breathe. Breathe. Because you didn't do anything
I
wrong.
don't like these people.
I'm scared too.
I don't like them.
Kayla, breathe.
I don't like these people.
Kayla,
Please,
that's not the right thing to say right now.
Please.
Sir, I really tightened my cuffs. I don't know if it was like small, but can you help me out, please?
I loosened them, man. They're good.
You did? Okay. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am, what is your name?
Just hit me in the face. Punch me down.
Punched me multiple times.
Okay. So, we don't have a male in custody here for
Well,
that.
he hit us multiple times in the face.
You know who he was?
No,
He was
we
a
don't.
tall guy wearing a gray shirt. He had brown hair, and he was wearing like bluish pants.
Okay,
He was with that girl that had the blue shirt on,
gotcha. Okay.
and she started it.
Alright.
She hit her first.
Okay.
Had multiple times.
You want an ambulance?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So did she. She got hit in the
So,
head
okay.
multiple times.
All right.
We're
Well,
gonna have them come check you out, okay?
So how
they're requesting a rig. They want. All right. Come on. Listen. We're gonna have an ambulance come up. All right. Come on this way, man. This way.
So you be getting mad if like we stick up for our friends?
Well, no, again, it's just the scenario and what happened. We come into it, we don't know what's going on. There's how many people there? What, 150?
Sure.
Versus 6 of us?
I'm sorry.
It's okay, chill, bro.
You saw them go jump me.
Yes.
You saw them jump me with 3 of them.
Gotta search her.
It's not fair. My whole career.
Why am I getting arrested?
They don't care. This is my whole career.
You can help me with this with my nails.
I got you. There we go.
Thank you. And the crosser would just like fall off, so if you could just keep it secret. Like that. Yeah. Alexis, okay, I'm like,
It's gonna go right in your purse, right? It's right inside your purse.
okay, can you just flash it, please?
I will. Just take your earrings out.
Yeah, and your nose ring.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Gotta stop moving.
Again, everything is very
Whoa,
by
just
the
do it.
book.
Well, you keep moving.
I don't care.
You should care. You
No,
care
I
about
shouldn't
the
care
career.
because I got you arrested. Legit.
Okay.
Like, I don't understand. And she's trying to torture me because she's.
I gotta like look at
I don't care.
It's not gonna
Leave it in.
Do you feel the bracelets?
Oh, I just have like other piercings. Is that okay?
Gotcha.
That's
All right,
fine.
we're gonna go over here, and then she's gonna search you in a moment.
So stand back or have her face the fire extinguisher.
Gotcha. Just hang out over there and face towards the fire extinguisher. So
I'm not trying to disrespect you. Sometimes I get anxious.
No, I got you. This is an officer. She's gonna search you real quick, right?
Can I turn around?
No, you know what? I didn't figure out what I.
Nobody's saying that.
No, I
You
know.
still have to follow our procedure.
Okay?
It doesn't matter
You know
procedures because I got, but I
Okay.
got.
Stand up. Stand up. We're gonna walk into the back.
No, I know, but just because I've been going to take it, I can't. I really
Bananas
can't.
are going
But,
past you,
oh, it's okay. But no, but you know I did. I'm gonna
Come on,
the girls
keep
are
going.
like, punches into that.
Keep going.
They don't care. They don't care. I should just force them.
Sean.
Now we're gonna.
You're gonna leave the light.
I have like piercings and stuff.
Put your hand on the wall and when it's straight.
Can you just take off the shoe?
On the wall. Right on the wall. Stop. Stop moving.
Again, anything that we're taking, you're gonna get back out. It's just our
I can't believe find my phone. I was like, where is it? I lose my phone all the time.
I got you.
My girl career. You don't understand.
I put them on.
Yeah,
No, but my whole career.
no, you're good to step inside here.
I can't talk to her.
Not right now. Thank you, I appreciate it.
No, but you don't understand.
All 4 suspects were arrested for assault. The suspect with the braided hair received an additional charge for resisting, while the suspect in the blue shirt received additional charges for resisting and disorderly intoxication. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe for more never-before-seen arrest footage daily.
Ma'am, I'm going to need you to turn that music down right now. Neighbors are complaining. If you don't, I'm going to cite you and haul you in.
There's no music playing here. What address did they give you?
847 Maple Street. And if you keep this up, I'm walking in and arresting you. Chain or no chain?
847 Maple Avenue.
The Ring doorbell at 847 Maple Avenue started recording at 11:23 p.m. on a Friday night in June 2024. The motion sensor had detected someone approaching the front door of the Brick Ranch House in suburban Atlanta. Judge Caroline Hayes was in her living room, wearing pajama pants and an old Spelman College sweatshirt. Watching the late news with the volume at a perfectly reasonable level. Her husband Marcus was already asleep upstairs. Their teenage daughter Brianna was at a friend's house for a sleepover. It was a quiet Friday night at home after a long week on the bench. Caroline had no idea that in the next 14 minutes, a Gwinnett County police officer was about to make a mistake, so catastrophically stupid that it would end his career, cost the county $290,000, and create a piece of doorbell footage that would be studied in law schools and police academies as a perfect example of what happens when officers don't verify basic information before threatening citizens. But here's what makes this different from every other story. Officer Brandon Cole didn't just go to the wrong address, he doubled down when corrected. He tripled down when challenged. And even after being told he was threatening a judge, he still tried to assert authority he didn't have. Because in Brandon Cole's mind, the badge meant he was always right. The uniform meant people had to comply. The gun on his hip meant his version of reality was the only one that mattered. He was about to learn that judges, especially judges who've spent 12 years ruling on police misconduct cases, don't see it that way. Before we continue, tell us what time it is and where you're watching from. My mother told me nobody would watch stories like this, that people don't care about justice anymore. But if you're still here, you're proving her wrong. Like this video, share it, subscribe. Let's make sure stories about accountability don't die in silence. Now let's continue. Judge Caroline Hayes was 47 years old, and if you looked up her record, you'd see an impressive career built on fairness and no-nonsense justice. She'd been on the Gwinnett County Superior Court bench for 12 years. Before that, she'd spent 8 years as a prosecutor and 6 years in private practice defending criminal cases. She'd seen law enforcement from every angle, as someone who worked with police daily, as someone who prosecuted their cases, and as someone who called out their mistakes when constitutional violations occurred. Caroline grew up in Atlanta, the daughter of a postal worker and a high school English teacher, middle class, stable. Her parents believed in education, hard work, and standing up for what's right even when it's uncomfortable. They'd sent Caroline to Spelman College, one of the nation's premier historically black colleges, where she'd majored in political science and graduated with honors. Law school came next. Emory University, right in Atlanta. Caroline had thrived there. She'd made law review. She'd interned at the Innocence Project. She'd graduated in the top 15% of her class and passed the Georgia bar on her first attempt. As a prosecutor, she'd handled everything from DUIs to armed robbery to homicide. She'd tried 67 cases to verdict and won 61 of them. She'd developed a reputation for being tough but fair. She'd drop charges in a heartbeat if evidence didn't support them, but she'd fight like hell when she knew someone was guilty. In private practice, she'd defended people who couldn't afford expensive attorneys. She'd taken court appointments, handled appeals, fought for clients the system had written off. She'd won cases other lawyers said were unwinnable. When she became a judge in 2012, she brought all of that experience to the bench. She knew how prosecutors thought. She knew how defense attorneys strategized. She knew how police built cases and how they sometimes cut corners or violated rights in the process. Over 12 years, Caroline had presided over 1,847 criminal cases. She'd ruled on hundreds of motions to suppress evidence based on illegal searches or stops. She'd granted those motions when police violated the Fourth Amendment, and she'd denied them when officers followed the law. She had a reputation for being impartial, but intolerant of constitutional violations. She'd held police officers in contempt 3 times for lying under oath. She'd suppressed evidence in 23 cases where searches were illegal. She'd written judicial opinions that became teaching tools in the Emory Law Criminal Procedure course. Caroline lived in a quiet neighborhood in Lawrenceville, a suburb northeast of Atlanta. She'd bought the house in 2015, a brick ranch with 3 bedrooms, a nice yard, good schools nearby. She and Marcus, a high school principal, had raised their daughter Brianna there. It was a peaceful neighborhood, families, professionals, retirees, the kind of place where people waved to each other, and kids rode bikes in the street. Caroline had never had a noise complaint. She wasn't someone who threw parties or blasted music. She was a 47-year-old judge who went to bed at a reasonable hour most nights because court started at 9 a.m., and she needed to be sharp. That Friday night, she'd been on the couch since about 10:30 p.m., watching the local news coverage of a trial she'd presided over earlier that week. The volume on her TV was at level 12. She knew because she'd checked when Marcus went upstairs and said it was too loud for him to sleep. She'd turned it down from 15 to 12. It was quiet enough that she could barely hear it from her kitchen, definitely not loud enough to disturb neighbors through walls and across yards. At 11:23 p.m., someone started pounding on her front door. Hard, aggressive pounding that made Caroline jump. She got up from the couch, confused and concerned. Who pounds on someone's door at 11:23 at night? An emergency? Something wrong with a neighbor? She looked through the peephole and saw a police officer. Her stomach immediately tightened. Police at your door late at night usually meant bad news. She opened the door. Partway, the chain still latched. Yes, officer? Officer Brandon Cole was standing on her front porch, one hand near his weapon, expression aggressive. If you don't turn that music down right now, you're going to jail. I'm not asking again. Caroline was confused. There's no music playing. I'm watching TV at normal volume. You can hear for yourself. From where they stood, you could barely hear the faint sound of the television through the open door. Nothing remotely loud or disruptive. Cole's face hardened. Don't lie to me. Your neighbors have been complaining for weeks. I'm giving you one last warning. This didn't make sense. Caroline had lived here 9 years. She'd never had a complaint. Her neighbors liked her. She baked cookies for the elderly couple next door. She helped the family across the street with their kids when they needed it. Officer, I've lived here for 9 years. I've never had a noise complaint. What address were you given? This is 847 Maple Street. The complaint is for this address. Now turn it down or I'm coming in there and arresting you for disturbing the peace. And that's when Caroline realized what was happening. She felt a mix of disbelief, frustration, and anger. This is 847 Maple Avenue, not Maple Street. And I'm Judge Caroline Hayes, Superior Court. My security cameras are recording this conversation. You're at the wrong address, threatening to arrest a sitting judge in her own home for a noise violation that isn't happening. I suggest you verify your information before this becomes a federal case. There was silence on the porch. Complete silence. Caroline watched through the doorway as Cole's face went through several expressions: confusion, realization, uncertainty, then defensive anger. A judge? Yes. Superior Court, I've been on the bench for 12 years. I preside over criminal cases, including cases involving police misconduct. And right now, you're creating evidence that could end your career. Cole looked like he wanted to argue, but something in Caroline's tone must have warned him off. Instead, he pulled out his phone and appeared to check something. Caroline continued, her voice calm but firm. Maple Street is 2 blocks north of here. Maple Avenue is where you're standing right now. I don't know if someone gave you bad directions or if you misread the address, but you came to the wrong house and immediately threatened to arrest me for a violation that isn't occurring. Cole was scrolling on his phone, presumably checking a map or the dispatch information. His face told Caroline everything she needed to know. He'd realized his mistake but didn't want to admit it. I was told 847 Maple. Maple Street? Caroline interrupted. Not Avenue. They're different streets. And instead of verifying that before, threatening arrest, you escalated immediately. You told me you'd come into my home and arrest me. Do you understand what probable cause means, officer? She looked at his nameplate. Officer Cole? Yes, ma'am. I'm not ma'am. I'm Judge Hayes. And I asked you a question. Do you understand what probable cause is? If you're still listening, you're the reason this story survives. Every like keeps it alive. Every share carries it further. Every subscriber tells the algorithm this matters. Don't let this one disappear. Like, share, subscribe. Now back to what happened next. Cole shifted uncomfortably. Yes, Your Honor. Then explain to me what probable cause you had to threaten me with arrest. The noise complaint? For an address 2 blocks away, even if there was a noise violation at 847 Maple Street, that doesn't give you probable cause to arrest me at 847 Maple Avenue. And you can clearly hear that there's no excessive noise coming from my home. So what was your probable cause? Cole had no answer, because there was no probable cause. There was just a mistake he'd made and refused to acknowledge until it was too late. Here's what's going to happen, Caroline said, her voice taking on the tone she used in her courtroom when attorneys were about to face consequences for sloppy work. You're going to give me your name, badge number, and supervisor's contact information. I'm going to file a formal complaint with your department. I'm also going to request the body cam footage from this encounter. You are wearing an activated body cam, correct? Cole looked down at his chest camera. The light was off. He hadn't activated it. You haven't turned it on, have you? No, Your Honor. So you responded to a call, approached a residence, threatened arrest, and did all of it without activating your body cam. That's a policy violation. What else are you doing wrong tonight, Officer Cole? Cole looked like he wanted to be anywhere else. I apologize, Your Honor. There was confusion about the address. Confusion that you could have cleared up by verifying the street name before threatening to break down my door and arrest me. Instead, you immediately escalated to threats. Why? I thought the call said there had been multiple complaints about 847 Maple Street, not this address. And when I told you that you were at the wrong location, instead of checking, you accused me of lying. Why would I lie about what street I live on? Caroline watched Cole struggle to find an answer. She knew why. Because some officers operated on assumptions instead of facts. because some officers believed compliance was more important than accuracy, because some officers thought the badge meant they didn't have to admit mistakes. But she wanted to hear him try to explain it. I should have verified the address, Cole finally admitted. Yes, you should have. Before threatening arrest, before accusing me of lying, before violating department policy by not activating your body cam. You should have done a lot of things differently tonight, Officer Cole. Caroline pulled out her phone. I'm taking your photo for my records. Please provide your badge number. Cole provided it. 3847. Caroline wrote it down along with his name. Who's your supervisor? Sergeant Dennis Morrison. And how do I contact Sergeant Morrison? Cole gave her the department's main number. Caroline wrote that down too. Go find the correct address, deal with whatever noise issue actually exists at 847 Maple Street, and think very carefully about what happened here tonight, because I promise you, this is going to be reviewed by people who will not be impressed. Cole nodded and left, walking quickly back to his patrol car. Caroline watched him drive away, then closed and locked her door. She stood in her entryway for a moment, adrenaline fading, replaced by exhaustion and anger. She'd been sitting on her couch watching the news, and a police officer had threatened to arrest her in her own home because he couldn't tell the difference between Maple Street and Maple Avenue. Marcus appeared at the top of the stairs. Caroline? What was that about? Police officer, wrong address. Threatened to arrest me for a noise complaint that doesn't exist. What? He went to Maple Avenue instead of Maple Street, and instead of checking when I told him he was wrong, he said I was lying and threatened to come into our house and arrest me. Marcus came down the stairs. Are you okay? I'm fine. Angry, but fine. And he's not going to be fine when I'm done filing complaints. Caroline pulled up her Ring app and downloaded the doorbell footage. 11 minutes and 43 seconds of Officer Cole threatening a judge at the wrong address. Every word documented, every threat recorded. She emailed it to herself, then backed it up to 3 different cloud storage accounts. This was evidence, and she wasn't taking any chances with it disappearing. Saturday morning, Caroline called her colleague Judge Michael Patterson, who handled administrative matters for the Superior Court. Mike, I need to report something. A police officer threatened to arrest me at my home last night. She explained everything. Judge Patterson listened, then asked her to send him the Ring footage. She sent it. He called back 10 minutes later. Caroline, I don't even have words. He threatened to enter your home and arrest you at the wrong address without even verifying basic information? Yes? What do you want to do? I want to file a formal complaint with Gwinnett County PD. I also want to consult with a civil rights attorney about whether this warrants further action. I think it does. This isn't just a simple mistake. This is an officer threatening illegal entry and arrest. That's serious. Caroline contacted Maya Rodriguez, a civil rights attorney who'd argued cases in her courtroom before. Maya had a reputation for being thorough, aggressive when needed, and successful in police misconduct cases. Judge Hayes, I just watched that Ring footage 3 times. This is textbook excessive enforcement. He went to the wrong address, and instead of verifying when you corrected him, he doubled down and threatened illegal arrest. That's not a mistake. That's a pattern of behavior. A pattern? Officers who operate this way don't just do it once. They do it regularly. I'd bet money that if we pull his complaint history and his arrest records, we'll find other examples. The civil rights lawsuit was filed the following Tuesday. It alleged unlawful threat of entry, threat of illegal arrest, violation of Fourth Amendment rights, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and negligence in training and supervision. The complaint was detailed, included timestamps from the Ring footage, and named both Officer Cole and the Gwinnett County Police Department. The local news picked up the story within hours. Superior Court judge, threatened with arrest at wrong address, files federal lawsuit. The ring footage was released publicly with Caroline's permission. Within 24 hours, it had been viewed 890,000 times. Within a week, over 2.3 million people had watched a police officer threaten to arrest a judge for a noise violation that didn't exist at an address he'd gotten wrong. The comments were brutal. How do you mess up street versus avenue? He didn't turn on his body cam because he knew he was wrong. This is what happens when officers think the badge makes them infallible. Gwinnett County PD announced an internal investigation. The investigator assigned was a captain named Sarah Lennox, a 19-year veteran known for being thorough and fair. Captain Lennox pulled everything. The dispatch call, which clearly said 847 Maple Street. Cole's response log, which showed he'd been given the correct address. His GPS data, which showed he'd driven to Maple Avenue instead of Maple Street, suggesting he'd either misread the address or input it wrong. She reviewed Cole's body cam footage, except there wasn't any, because he'd never activated it despite department policy requiring activation for all citizen contacts. She pulled Cole's complaint history, 7 complaints in 8 years, 3 for excessive force, 2 for false arrest, 1 for illegal search, 1 for threatening behavior. All 7 had been marked unfounded or unable to substantiate. But when Lennox actually investigated, pulling incident reports, talking to complainants, reviewing available footage, she found patterns. Cole had a history of aggressive enforcement without verifying facts first. He'd arrested someone for trespassing who turned out to be the property owner. He'd conducted a search based on suspicious behavior that was actually someone loading groceries. He'd threatened arrest during a traffic stop where no violation had occurred. The pattern was clear. Cole made assumptions, escalated quickly, and refused to back down even when presented with contradictory information. The internal investigation concluded Cole had violated multiple policies, failed to verify address before enforcement action, failed to activate body cam as required, threatened arrest without probable cause, demonstrated pattern of aggressive enforcement without factual basis recommendation, termination. But before the department could act, something else happened that made termination inevitable. The Gwinnett County District Attorney's Office reviewed the case. They watched the ring footage. They consulted with their legal advisors. And they made a decision. They filed charges against Officer Brandon Cole. 1 count, criminal trespass, Georgia Code 16721. The legal theory was straightforward. Cole had threatened to enter Caroline's home without legal authority. Under Georgia law, threatening to enter or remain on property without authorization after being told to leave constitutes criminal trespass. The fact that Cole was a police officer didn't exempt him when he acted without legal authority. Stories like this live or die based on you. Right now, you're keeping this alive. Like this video. Share it with one person. Subscribe. Let's prove that accountability stories matter. Now let's see what happened in court. The criminal trial was brief. Cole's defense attorney argued he'd made an honest mistake about the address and had no criminal intent. The prosecutor presented the ring footage showing Cole being told he was at the wrong address and continuing to threaten anyway. They showed dispatch records proving he'd been given the correct address. They showed GPS data proving he'd gone to the wrong location. An honest mistake, the prosecutor argued, would be going to the wrong address, then apologizing and leaving when corrected. What Officer Cole did was threaten to commit a crime, illegally entering a home and making a false arrest, and only stopped when he realized he was threatening a judge. The jury deliberated for 73 minutes, guilty. Sentencing came 2 weeks later. Georgia law allowed for probation on first offense misdemeanor trespass, but the judge, a different Superior Court judge named Robert Chen, had strong words during sentencing. "Mr. Cole, you are a police officer. You carry a badge and a gun. You have authority most citizens don't have. And with that authority comes responsibility to know the law and follow it. You went to the wrong address, threatened to violate a citizen's Fourth Amendment rights, and only backed down when you discovered that citizen was a judge. That suggests you would have followed through with those threats against someone who didn't have judicial authority." The sentence: 12 months probation, 100 hours community service, permanent revocation of peace officer certification, and mandatory restitution of legal fees. Cole would never work in law enforcement again. Caroline's civil lawsuit settled 3 months later for $290,000. The settlement also required all officers must verify addresses twice before approaching residences on calls. Body cams must be activated before any citizen contacts supervisors, must review complaints within 48 hours, and actually investigate claims. Officers with 3 or more complaints face automatic review of all prior contacts. Independent Civilian Review Board created to investigate excessive force and illegal arrest allegations, annual training on Fourth Amendment rights, and de-escalation. The money went into a trust fund for organizations providing legal assistance to people who couldn't afford attorneys in civil rights cases. "This was never about money for me," Caroline said in a statement. "It was about accountability. It was about making sure officers understand they can't threaten citizens with illegal arrest just because someone complains. It was about protecting the next person who might face an officer like Brandon Cole." Brandon Cole served his probation without incident. His peace officer certification was permanently revoked. He tried to work in private security but found it difficult. The conviction and the viral ring footage made him unemployable in any position requiring trust and authority. He gave one interview to a local TV station, claiming he'd been unfairly prosecuted because he'd threatened a judge. The interviewer asked, "But you went to the wrong address and threatened arrest anyway. How is that unfair prosecution?" Cole had no good answer. Judge Caroline Hayes is still on the Superior Court bench, still presiding over criminal cases, still ruling on motions about illegal searches and unlawful arrests. She thinks about that night sometimes, about how differently it could have gone if she hadn't been a judge, if she hadn't known the law, if she hadn't had ring cameras recording. She thinks about everyone else Cole threatened over his 8-year career. The people who didn't know they could challenge him, who didn't have evidence, who let him violate their rights because they didn't know those rights existed. The ring footage is still online, over 5 million views now. It's shown in police academies as an example of what not to do. It's used in law school classes about Fourth Amendment violations. It's cited in judicial training about why verification of basic facts matters. And every time someone watches it, they see what happens when an officer lets ego and assumptions override truth and verification. If you're still here, you already believe stories like this matter. Prove it. Like, share, subscribe. Let's make sure the next person who needs to know their rights has this story to learn from. Caroline still lives in the same house on Maple Avenue, still has ring cameras on her front door, back door, and driveway, still watches the news at reasonable volume on Friday nights. But she checks her Ring app more often now. She notes when cars slow down in front of her. House. She's more aware of her surroundings in ways she wasn't before, because even judges aren't safe from officers who think compliance matters more than accuracy. But she also knows something else. Documentation works. Evidence matters. And when you know your rights and have the courage to assert them, even against people with badges, accountability is possible. Not always, not easily, but possible. And that's worth fighting for.